Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to
Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Well, I am not David Nuño, but I am Richard Zane, and I am welcoming you into a Monday morning edition of TexAgs Live, brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers. The ultimate fighter, David Nuño, should be here shortly, hopefully later on in the go hour, but until then, I guess we're using an opener, just like Michael Earley did on Friday night with Ethan Darden.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and do my best to get the game to the guy who's going to throw the bulk without giving up too many runs. It'll be first question for you. Olin Buchanan, TexAgs columnist, Heisman Trophy voter, with me here inside the Rollo Insurance Studio. How was your weekend, sir?
It was up and down. We had a good Mother's Day. You know, took Irma out, and the place, I'm not gonna say where we went, but the place she suggested she wanted to go was, fortunately for me, very easy on the old wallet, low maintenance. You know, bought her a gift, of course, a couple of gifts, and yeah, it was that was really good. Found out my someone stole my identity. I found like a half dozen charges from Connecticut.
That poor guy stealing your identity.
It's more like stealing my money. But fortunately, my credit card got canceled.
Okay.
And I have to wait on another one. So that was kind of a pain in the neck and other places. But in totality, I would say it was a pretty good weekend.
I'll go back to the Sunday part. I hope Irma and all the mothers out there had a Sunday that was half as good as the Saturday enjoyed by one Ben Royo. OB,
yes.
Let's go ahead and jump right in to Texas A&M baseball discussion. The Aggies go on the road to Oxford. They drop the series to a top 20 Ole Miss team, a club that is playing for its own hosting life. They're trying to bring postseason baseball to Oxford. It's now back-to-back series losses as they enter in the final week of the regular season. But the story, at least here in Aggie land, was Ben Royo on Saturday. He goes 7 for 7 during a doubleheader. The Aggies win the first one 18-5. They drop the second 6-5. Royo homers three times, drives in 5 runs, and at least for a span of about 8 hours and maybe 8 plate appearances, he was the best player anywhere on the planet, and we hadn't seen him very much at all up to this point.
And that's the question right there, is why haven't we seen him? It's not like, and I don't mean, look, I'm just going to keep it very realistic, not trying to be mean to anybody, but it's not like Boston Kellner's been lighting it up. I think he's hitting around 200 in SEC play. Doesn't hit with a lot of power, and let's just say he's not flawless with his glove. He's not a liability, but he's not flawless either. So to me, this looks like there's at least at that position, now there's a potential to get better. Much like a couple of years ago when for some reason Schlossnagle would not put Caden Kent in the game. And then when he was forced to, Kent went off and showed that, hey, this guy should have been playing all along. Now, Royo, I'm not saying he's going to go off to the level that Kent did, but at least from my perspective, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, from my perspective, I think, quite frankly, I think you have a chance to get a base hit late in the order, a better chance with Royo, and that goes back to when he was starting last year, than you do with with Kellner, plus more power. Didn't he have like 10, Royo? Didn't he have 10 home runs last year?
Homer 10 times in 25 as a junior. Only played in 4 games prior to Friday. He entered Friday's ball game because Boston Kellner took a fastball to the face, suffered an orbital fracture. If you just do some Googling and see how long it takes to recover from those types of injuries, probably going to be a few weeks without the true freshman. Kellner had started the first 47 games of the year at the all-important shortstop position. So now I think, to your point, Ben Royo is going to be the guy because Boston's going to be on the shelf for a little bit. Kellner's injury just kind of highlights what's been going wrong for A&M recently. I know they've now dropped back-to-back series, and they haven't been playing as clean baseball as they were earlier when they were taking down Vanderbilt in the doubleheader, and then Texas, and then Florida, and kind of going on that little run that kind of propelled them towards the top of the SEC standings. But you can kind of explain some of those woes with some of the injuries they've suffered. Chris Hakopian, you explain a lot of those woes with the injuries they've suffered. Most of those woes with the injuries they've suffered. Chris Hakopian's playing on one leg right now, and fortunately, it's not impacting his swing.
But think about this: Chris Hakopian, a second baseman, gets hurt, and so, because your second baseman gets hurt, your defense in left field is atrocious.
Yeah, it takes a step back.
A step? Okay. It looks like more than a step to me. But anyway, so and as good as and Hakopian is still going out and hitting home runs, but would he be even more productive if he was just completely feeling it? I think, did he not? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to remember this. Have a play while they were trying to rally, and it was kind of a soft grounder that he got thrown out, and if he's healthy, it looks like he probably beats it out without too much trouble.
I can't remember what particular play you're discussing, but obviously he's playing on.
I remember Irma and I watching it. She says, "Oh, I can't believe he didn't." It was a really soft.
He's definitely not running.
And I said, "Well,
fast.
He can't. He's got a hard hamstring. He can't run." She said, "Okay."
You're talking about Hakopian?
Yeah.
It is a bone bruise.
It's a deep bone bruise
on his left leg. That's what's slowing him.
Okay.
It's a hamstring for Partita, which has kept him out of the lineup for quick math. That's now 5 straight games without a SEC Freshman of the Year candidate at third base, which forces you to make other changes in the infield. Gavin Grahovac, who's playing an All-American first base, slides over to third.
And plays really well.
He's playing really well. He hadn't missed a step. But Blake Binderup's now at first base. He homered a couple of times, but it really is all or nothing out of the big slugger from College Station. You mentioned second base. You mentioned left field. Jake Dewar can't DH because Hakopian's got a DH. Terrence Gill II can't provide you that elite defense in the outfield. And now you're without your starting shortstop. Oh, and by the way, A&M had already been bit by the injury bug because you've been without Caden McCoy for the entire year, Josh Stewart for most of the year, and a name a lot of people don't remember, don't recognize because they haven't been paying attention the entire season. David Ramirez, who is projected to be one of the top pitchers on this club, has been out for the entire year. And if you go back 2 years, back to 24, think of the injuries A&M has had to deal with.
There's a lot of them.
Oh, yeah. Montgomery, Cedillo, and then Lavalette, and then Sorrell, and Grahovac, and it goes on and on.
Yeah, injuries have been an issue. Here's what, though. If it wasn't for the fact that A&M is battling to get in that top 8 seed, right, I wouldn't be too concerned because I know eventually they're going to heal. And I'm thinking getting Hakopian back at second base and getting Partita back at third and getting Keel back in the left and adding Royo at shortstop, I think they become a better team.
You mentioned the top 8 battle. So A&M has now dropped back-to-back series. They've got 16 wins in conference. You have 1 regular season series remaining.
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi State comes to town this week, and the series begins Thursday at 6 p.m. If you win 2 of 3 from the Bulldogs, most experts, most insiders think you are going to be a lock to be a top 8 national seed, host postseason baseball at Bluebell Park. The road to Omaha would run through College Station. And to be in this position after what A&M had to suffer through in 25, I think it just highlights how good of a job Michael Earley has done turning this thing around. And the fact that they are still in that battle with all the injuries they're having to battle through, just what a job. What a job. It's one weekend to win 2 of 3 games, and all of your goals are still in front of you. Well, all except for one, because Georgia has wrapped up the regular season title, but it's so tough to win the regular season in this league in particular. And nobody thought A&M was going to have a shot to do that. If they win 2 out of 3, they've got a great chance to finish second in this league.
What if they don't?
And what if they don't? So what is your what if they don't scenario? Is it
what if they go 1 and 2?
1 of 2. So 17 wins. I feel as though you would have a host spot, probably a 9 through 16 seed, right? You would be able to host a regional, but not necessarily be guaranteed a super if you were to get through your home regional. And you'd probably have some work left to do in Hoover.
Yeah, I think they're top 16 regardless. I think you got to win the series to be one of the top 8.
Mm-hmm. And that's not an easy task at all. Because
Mississippi State's good.
Really, really good. I haven't seen the latest D1 baseball rankings yet. Nick's going to buzz into my ear.
Aggie baseball's 10, Mississippi State 13th.
Oh, another top 15 series in the SEC. Shocker, right?
Yeah.
Any more baseball thoughts? What do you think of the pitching staff and the way they mixed things up this weekend? With Ethan Darden as the opener, it gave you a couple innings, and Shane Sadeo behind him on Friday night. Solid in relief, only gave up 1 run, and then Aiden Sims only pitched 3 innings, 66 pitches in the first game of the doubleheader, and then Clayton Freshcorn behind Weston Moss was really fantastic. 5 innings of 1-run relief.
Yeah. I thought, first of all, I thought Sadeo pitched really well, right? So he responded, and I thought the pitching was good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would have liked to have seen, we've always liked to have seen Weston Moss pitch like he did in his previous start, right? But, those things don't happen very often. I thought the pitching was good enough. What I was disappointed with, and I know you got to give credit to the Ole Miss pitchers, was just the ridiculous volume of strikeouts and the failure to get very often the big hit when you had guys in scoring position when you're trying to come back, especially in that last game. But the alarming number of strikeouts to me is what I came away with in the losses.
I believe it was Friday night. Guy, the starter for Ole Miss, struck out. I think he struck out a career high 14, or maybe a career high 11.
Okay.
It was 14, maybe 15 in the game, and then in the finale, the rubber match, I know it was a tied for the season worst 17 strikeouts, 14 punch-outs for Taylor Rabe, doubled his career best. Now he is going to be a top 3 to 4 rounder in July when the draft rolls around. But 17 strikeouts, to your credit, OB, too many. I am not as concerned about the strikeouts as you are, and I know some other people on the boards are, because when you slug, as A&M has,
that's part
strikeouts typically don't matter as much. A&M homers 9 times in the doubleheader. However,
but
7 of them were in one game. Yes,
right.
Exactly. So
I was talking about in the games they lost.
Mm-hmm. And the strikeout, especially late, wasn't really the issue. You think about the 8th inning, Caden Sorrell gets on base with the leadoff single, and then he steals second. Nobody out. The ball's put in play twice, back to back. The next 2 outs are ground outs. They don't hit behind the runner, Chris Akopian, for the first out, and then Jake Dewar grounded out to
didn't get the key hit.
You didn't get the key hit. Situational hitting hurts you more so than the strikeout on Saturday night.
Well, unless you say, well, maybe if you don't strike out so many times earlier in the game, you're not in that position in the 9th inning.
Certainly some credence to that point as well, OB. I'm really thinking that the injuries are the bigger issue plaguing this A&M team. Strikeouts are way down my list of concerns. Starting pitching's way higher than strikeouts.
Well, I agree with that.
And then, again, the bullpen is what the bullpen is just because there's not a lot of depth there. But I'm still a little concerned about how thin they are from a reliever standpoint.
Yeah, but I feel like the relief pitching's been pretty sound lately.
Yeah, but
so
again,
if you can get by with those guys,
I trust Lyons, I trust Clayton Freshcorn, I trust Ethan Darden, Grant Cunningham to an extent, Hunter Bonds coming on. but I don't know if that's enough to get you through a regional or maybe a super regional. We'll see, obviously. OB, this is TexAgs Live, brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers. I'm going to try and do my best to roll through the sponsors as Nuño does, see if you remember everything. So,
of course I will.
This is what? The studio
This
is?
is the Rollo Insurance Studio, brought to you by Jason Jackson, Keith Morgan, and all the men and women working so hard to insure you.
And typically, you and David begin the show by sitting over there in that corner of the studio.
Holistic Planning Cool Zone. But the Cool Zone travels. It goes wherever you need to go because, making money and keeping your money is nothing's cooler than that.
Perfect. And then if people want to interact with this show.
This show, by the way, this part is the Go Hour, brought to you by the Warehouse at CC Creations.
I forgot one of the things. Thank you. See,
but if you want to interact on the Go Hour, that's easy too. All you got to do is call us on the Puppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
And the phone number?
979-693-1150. And you know what's crazy? That same number, 979-693-1150, also works as the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. So if you want to text us, you can be a catalyst to the show.
You are very, very sharp.
I've done this a few times.
Yeah, so I was just making sure because I know you slept since then, so I know you're forgetful. We're going to go ahead and say howdy to the guy who is checking your text messages, Mr. Reese Nyberg from LaGrange, the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Reese, good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. It's a Monday morning, so we're getting a start on to the week.
Yeah, how was your weekend?
It was a pretty good weekend and spent time with the mom as everybody should on Mother's Day. So it was a very good weekend. Had little sister's high school grad party, so very eventful weekend.
Well, I've got this image that Richard Zane took his mother to dinner, did not like the dessert, and got up, stormed out, and left his mother there, wondering what happened to him.
See, what Olin is referencing is the 2016 A&M Ole Miss football game, the Shea Patterson game at Kyle Field, when Jake Hubenak threw that last interception. I just walked out. My mom went to the game with me. I waited for her outside the gate. But she was not happy with me.
If I were your mom, I probably wouldn't be very happy with you leaving me inside the stadium either.
Well, it's been 10 years, so we've moved past it. Reese, do you have anything for us over there?
Yeah, so the Texas A&M softball team, they discovered their postseason fate. They will be the number 15 overall seed, and they will host a regional. They will host the Big 12 champ and Trisha Ford's old school, the Arizona State Sun Devils, the Big East champs, the Yukon Huskies, and Bronny's Southland Conference champion, McNeese State Cowboys. The Aggies will face off against Yukon. That'll be Friday at 1 p.m. on ESPN2. Of course, the winner of the College Station Regional will face off of the winner of the Austin Regional, headlined by the number 2 overall seed, the Texas Longhorns. If the Aggies and Longhorns were to face off in the Super Regional round, it would be the third time in Coach Ford's 4-year tenure that they have met with the Longhorns.
This is my shock face. So,
it's not even
you could see it coming a mile away.
And they do it in every sport that they have the opportunity. And I get it, they're trying to get ratings and all those kind of things and cut expenses. But here's my thing. This year, all right, is there anything with the seedings that seems fishy, that they're just trying to set it up? Or are those rankings, those seedings, are they legitimate? Should Texas be the number 2 overall seed? Should A&M be around 15?
Well, I'm not the softball expert. The softball expert is sitting behind Nick Savage there back in the production room, of course, talking about Kay Nagley. Texas definitely had a case. Oklahoma had a case. Alabama had a case. All to be in that top spot, the number 1 overall national seed. It went to the Alabama Crimson Tide in Tuscaloosa. But, of course, A&M and Texas getting matched up. When you saw Texas come off the board at 2 overall, you kind of knew A&M was towards that back half of the regional hosting spots. And then when you saw Oklahoma come up at 3, you're thinking, oh, great, A&M is either not hosting, which would have been a joke, or they're going to be matched up with Norman or Austin because the NCAA can save some expenses, to your point, and put them on a bus.
Yeah, I wonder if Texas beat Oklahoma this year, or if they were ahead of them in the standings. I don't know.
Oklahoma took 2 of 3 from the Texas.
And were they higher in the standings?
I don't remember.
Okay, so I don't know. So look, it's not. I don't.
Yeah, there is. Oklahoma won the regular season title.
So to me, it's bogus then that Oklahoma should have been the 2 seed over Texas. It would seem, and it is the NCAA gerrymandering. I don't care. Look, I don't care. I don't think that they're worried about playing Texas if they get there, right? Mm-hmm. And after last year, we're not going to just assume. But if they get there, I don't think they're worried about playing Texas. It's just that it just gets old when you see the NCAA gerrymander. I would imagine the people at Texas are tired of it too.
I'm sure.
Just let things happen organically. Don't manipulate things to get what you want.
Now, we are kind of putting the cart before the horse because Trisha Ford and company do have to take care of business this weekend. Arizona State, a good club. You mentioned a couple of conference champions, McNeese and UConn, coming to College Station as well. That all gets underway on Friday. TexAgs will have plenty of softball coverage this weekend as the 2026 Bryan College Station Regional begins on Friday. With that, we say howdy to director, producer extraordinaire Nick Savage behind the glass. He's kind of upset with me because I'm going way, way, way too long with this opening segment. Howdy, Nicholas.
This is typically when David starts his 1775 spot, but it's okay. I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. How was your weekend? Do you have anything we need to get into before we hit that 1775 spot?
No. I've just got to say, you said, I know you know this, but you said some conference champs. They're all conference champs. The Aggies didn't even draw an at-large team in the Bryan College Station Regional, so it'll be a tough draw for them. But, with Maya Perez and the pitching staff doing a little bit better than I guess we expected throughout the year, hopefully they can turn it up a notch in the postseason. But it'll be a fun one for sure.
Definitely looking to get past last year's regional terror. Kay Nagley wrote that in her story yesterday. OB, he mentioned 1775, and we are way past due for a break here. So I don't have the read in front of me. Oh, they're going to go ahead and play the 1775 read. I'm sorry, Olin, because I know you love to talk about that succulent brisket.
That succulent brisket. You don't even have pulled pork. Not that you would eat it, but they have that succulent brisket, all kinds of good stuff.
I don't keep kosher. I would do the pulled pork. I would do the jalapeno cheese sausage as well.
The pork ribs as well?
Yes, I would.
So good that even the Jewish guy will eat it.
All right. The 1775 read coming up. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to TexAgs Live, brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers.
But it was long ago.
Just going to let it play.
And she was the queen of my night.
This is like Bob Seger's.
This is
right. Like
what?
Bob Seger's best, right?
No, I think Night Moves.
Night Moves?
Yeah.
You wouldn't go Turn the Page?
I think Night Moves is even better than Turn the Page.
I like Against the Wind. I do. I like Against the Wind.
Too.
I think it might be my favorite.
He's one of my. He's in my top 10 favorites
of all time.
Yeah.
So give me your top 10.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head. Well, everybody knows I'm a parrot head, so Jimmy Buffett's up there. Tom Petty is up there. Dire Straits. I'm a big fan of Dire Straits.
Money for Nothing.
And my Chicks for free. Yeah, I wish. Irma. She cost me some money. I don't know. I mean, I would sit down and think about Bob Seger, of course. Used to be Bruce Springsteen. His politics made me drop him out of my. George Strait, Alan Jackson. In fact, I was listening to some Alan Jackson last night while Irma and I were playing dominoes.
This is why we get along. Because my dad has a lot of the same music taste, so that's what we were listening to in the car when I was a kid. So I love all that.
I think I'd like your dad.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Speaking of top 10s, you wrote a list that's not necessarily a top 10, but it included 10 statistics earlier this week, kind of comparing where A&M matched up with the five previous national champions in college football to kind of get an outlook on the Aggies ahead of 2026.
Yeah, where they need to get better.
Yes, and you wrote about
national championship.
Total offense and explosive plays on offense, total defense, opponent explosive plays, field goal percentage, penalty yardage, turnover margin, third down conversions, third down defense, and of course red zone conversions. So if you want to read all of Olin Buchanan and all of those thoughts that he had, it's available now on TexAgs.com. Don't have to be a premium subscriber to read it, though we suggest you do. So doing that exercise, OB, putting that all together, where did you come away with the Aggies and their prospects, their outlook for 26?
Well, again, what I did was I took what the last five national champions, where they ranked in those categories, where A&M was last year, and what are the prospects of getting there now? For instance, A&M was in total offense last year. They're at a national championship caliber. They averaged 444.5 yards per game. That was more than, I think it was more than 3 national champions. That's more than Georgia in 2021, more than Michigan in 23, and even more than Ohio State in 24. So offensively, you were national championship caliber. They were right there in explosive plays when you consider that all the teams that won national championships had more, but also played in more games. But then you get into total defense, things we know about. They're going to have to be better on defense. They're going to have to be better, especially on run defense. For instance, last year A&M was 57th in the nation. No, they're not 57th. They were. I don't know where they. Shoot, where's that run defense? I wrote about it anyway. The teams that won national championships were really good in run defense. I thought I had it in here. And
the last 5 national champions allowed 90 rushing yards or less and were no worse than 6 nationally. A&M averaged 130.7 yards on the ground.
What were they, about 40th nationally?
That's not 40th in the country, yep.
Not bad.
But not
national championship. So there, and a big part of that goes back to opponents' explosive plays, giving up too many. A&M last year, for instance, A&M last year gave up 57 plays of 20 yards or more. All right. Indiana gave up 53. Well, on the first glance, you say, yeah, that doesn't seem like that much until you remember, oh, yeah, but Indiana played, 3 more games than A&M?
Yeah.
Right? So, and we all saw it. So it's not like alarming. A&M played 13 games.
Yeah.
They played 16.
Because Indiana had the bye, but they also played the Big
10. Okay, so 15. Yeah, they did play. So 16 games.
No, it would have been 15-0.
So they were 12-0. They played the
because A&M played 13.
Okay, so 50. They played 15 games.
3 games more.
I thought they played 16.
16.
I'm
not a math guy. I'm bad at counting.
Well, who
16.
did Indiana beat in the playoff?
16
games.
because
of the Big
12,
12.
yeah,
'Cause
12
the
in the
Big
regular
Ten
season,
championship.
13 would be the
Right.
Big Ten, and then they played 3
You're
playoff games.
right. I'm sorry for
So that's fine.
confusing
That's
you.
fine.
That's my bad. That's my bad. I'm wearing
I'm
that.
easily
Hand up,
confused.
hand up.
So anyway, the point is, we all know it. That's an area where A&M, to be a national championship caliber, they got to get better. And when you say, well, will they? Will they get better? Well, that's going to be a big key to next year. Now, I remember, and we'll be bringing this up, I'm sure with him before long. It was either after the Texas or the Miami game. Mike Elko said something about, we've got to go back and see what this problem is, giving the long running plays. Is it? We got to decide if it's the way we're coaching them. Are we coaching something wrong? And eventually, when we have that opportunity, we'll address that topic with him. But if you can get better in run defense and giving up big runs, you become national championship caliber. Because they gave up around 307 yards. That's not bad. It's not bad. In fact, Georgia in 2022, they averaged 296.7. So 307.4 is not bad. But if you can be that, but also improve your run defense, national championship caliber. And then field goal percentage was a big one.
Yes.
Because every team that won a national championship converted at least 76.5% of their field goals. A&M was 61.5. Okay.
That entire column is available on TexAgs.com now. Check it out if you haven't already. Olin, it's time. David Nuño is here.
He's in.
He is going to rejoin us after the break. I believe I did not get us taken off the air. I think I kept the ship going straight, and now the captain is here to take us home throughout the rest of the day.
Did an admirable job,
yes.
Captain.
Oh, thank you.
Admiral.
Yes,
Captain?
I got it.
Yeah,
I got
okay.
it. See, a lot of your puns I understand. It's the others that don't get it. It's TexAgs Live, brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers. David Nuño, back when we return.
And I'm back for the first time today. We're back. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. OB, sorry I missed the first 40 minutes of the show.
It was okay. You know, Richard's a pretty effective
He's a pro.
relief pitcher. Yeah.
I forget when. I think I told them yesterday. I'm pretty sure I texted him yesterday. So I went to a soccer game yesterday.
Okay.
And wife is like, Elizabeth's like, that finger's broken, dude. Go talk to Randy. Randy wasn't there. Randy's a doctor that we know. Shout out to Dr. Gibbs. Works with Dr. DeStefano right down the road.
Okay.
Good friends that they watch the show all the time.
Randy Gibbs?
Yeah.
Is he a BG?
No, he's not that Randy Gibbs. But
I don't know if they're.
But it turned out to be broken. But anyway, I told Richard yesterday that I would probably be a little late. They got me in real quick, did some x-rays, got me fitted for, what is this? Not a brace. What is this? A splint, if you will, to keep this finger broken. They said no physical, well, they said no lifting weights for 6 to 8 weeks. I'm like, nah, that's not going to fly. So anyway, how was the first 30 minutes?
Yeah, it was good. You know,
a little baseball talk, I
We
assume?
talked about baseball, and, you know, I gave opinions that, let's face it, are not nearly as educated as Richard's are, but I still have them. And
you know, the beauty about sports is you don't have to have played D1 baseball to have an opinion on baseball. Like we're allowed to have opinions.
No, that's true. I'm just saying, in my case, I don't cover the team.
Yeah,
I'm watching it as a fan, and so I'm acknowledging that I don't have access to inside information, or I don't see every single game up close and personal like Richard does. So if he has a different opinion than mine, then it probably holds more weight just because he is more inundated into the game than I am.
Right. Yeah. Well, what was your opinion?
Well, I thought that they have a chance to get better with Ben Royo at at shortstop, because he has a bat that, I mean, he's not going to probably ever have another weekend like he did this week.
That was ridiculous.
But
I thought it was like, really?
But, you know, he had 10 home runs last year. And frankly, since I've been watching it, Kellner has, I don't have the exact stats, but it seems to me he's hitting about 200 in SEC play. And that'd be one thing if he had just an absolutely flawless glove. But since I'm watching, I'm not saying he's got a stone glove out there, but I've seen errors and things like that. And then I talked about how they need to get desperately, and we all understand this, we want Hakopian back in the lineup at second.
Yeah.
For me, so they can get Keel back in left field, because, quite frankly, Jake Dewar looked like a liability out in left field this last weekend.
Well, the interesting thing about this weekend, I thought the pitching was good enough.
Good enough. Yes.
You know, the fact that, and typically when the pitching has been good enough, they win series, right?
Typically, yeah.
And this particular, and now it's 2 series in a row, and I'm not going to overreact to it. I'm sure people are already overreacting to it. I'm not going to overreact to it.
But you're trying to get that 8 seed.
You are. And that means you are, I think, in a must-win series position, right?
Mm-hmm, probably so.
And I don't know if you have to sweep.
Probably don't have to sweep. Probably have to win it, though.
Sweep, you probably guarantee it. Win it, you should be in, right?
I would think so. Now, again, I'm not an expert on it. Richard seemed to echo that, though.
Okay.
Win the series, probably you're in the top 8. Lose the series, probably not. So at least you know what your task is. And quite frankly, in my opinion, again, I'm uneducated. I don't watch baseball as much as anybody else, or as much as definitely Richard. But it would seem to me that if your pitching is only good enough, that I want my best defense I can possibly have behind it.
Yeah. Well, come back home against a really good Mississippi State team.
Really good.
Top 10 Mississippi State team. I haven't seen the rankings.
They've fallen down to 13.
Okay.
So A&M is 10, Mississippi State's 13.
But in second place in the SEC.
Yeah,
But you wonder what teams they lost to that made them fall. I know they lost a series to Texas, did they not?
Yeah, they did. That was 2 weekends ago.
And Texas just lost a series to Tennessee. That's crazy. So that's SEC baseball. That's the life that's the profession you chose.
Yeah.
So every game's going to be hard.
Hyman Roth.
I think Missouri won a series this weekend over Vanderbilt.
They did. They did to Vanderbilt this year what they did to us last year.
Right around the same time, right?
Yeah, because Vanderbilt's on the bubble.
Oh, okay.
And they took that series from Vanderbilt.
Did they win it or did they sweep them?
I believe they just won it.
Okay. I thought they just won the series.
Okay, because they swept the Aggies, as we know.
And I think the sweep is why the Aggies didn't get in.
But again, that's the point, though, is one of the worst teams in the league goes out and beats Vanderbilt. I know Vanderbilt's not great, but and then, Texas, is South Carolina the worst team in the league?
I believe so.
And they won a game over Texas. So it's what you're in for.
Look, you get what a position to be in. Look, I'm being optimistic. Sometimes that upsets people after a loss. You got an opportunity this weekend to look. Nothing ensures anything, right? You can win this series and you don't get a top 8 seed.
I bet you do, though.
I think you do too. But since we're not in the committee, we don't know how they're going to vote, right? Like we don't know how that. But I'm just saying, what a position to be in. That the last weekend of the season, you get a top 10 team coming to Bluebell with you a chance to take care of business.
What are the bets that if A&M is an 8 seed, that Texas will be a 9 seed, or vice versa?
Good God! Say that again.
What do you think the odds are, since you're talking about the committees, that if A&M's an 8 seed, that Texas will be a 9 seed, or vice versa?
Yeah, I think you'd be likely for Texas to be the 1 seed. And just by some odd nature, if you get to Omaha, it feels like Texas would be waiting for you.
Yeah.
With this committee.
Let's do this. Let's hit a break here. Come back. I want to get an update. I don't know if you've done women's tennis. We should get an update on that. And then kind of remind me how, I know softball, the situation. You got UConn coming in. You've got Arizona State coming in. You got McNeese coming in. We're going to try to get their coach, the McNeese coach, on the show. We know a guy that knows the people at McNeese. So we're going to try to get the McNeese softball coach on the show.
Her name's Ryan Brauninger, right?
But we'll do that. We'll hit a break here. Right now we're talking about Rollo Insurance. The difference is real. They're our official insurance provider of this program, but they can be yours as well. They're headquartered right here in College Station, 60 offices in the great state of Texas. Whether you need home, auto, or ranch, let them take care of you, finding the right situation for you. And you can start a relationship with an expert who puts you first. Your agent becomes familiar with your specific situation, and they provide a plan that most mass market insurers simply cannot match. I learned English today. When you need advice or have a claim, you'll speak directly with someone who knows you by that name. That is the Rollo difference. Call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO, or go to rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That's rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs.
Well, I'm playing a lot of Tom Petty because I said it was one of my favorites.
I feel weird only doing 25 minutes with you.
Yeah.
A little different. And then you got some stuff going on this weekend. I got freaking jury duty again.
Really?
Yeah, on Wednesday. I just went the other day. And they go, no, you didn't get picked, so you got to go back in the group.
I just walked.
Am I allowed to say that? Are you allowed to talk about jury duty like that?
I don't know.
I just walk in and shout out, "We should hang him!" And they said, "No, send him out."
I don't think we hang anymore.
Okay. Well, that's why I'm saying we should.
We should. Go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Niagara, give us an update on women's tennis, because the Fighting Weavers, all they do is just fight.
Oh, yeah, and they win.
Nicely done.
As the number 4 seed, Texas A&M women's tennis team continued their postseason success as they knocked off the number 13 seeded USC Trojans 5-1 at the Mitchell Tennis Center on Saturday. This is the 5th time in program history they have reached the Elite Eight. This year's Elite Eight is being hosted in Athens, Georgia at the University of Georgia. The maroon and white will take on the number 5 seeded UNC Tar Heels on Friday at 6 p.m.
You know, Mark Weaver's just living the dream.
He's great.
Hence the Dream Weaver.
Yep, he's great. Give us an update on softball, if you don't mind, because I wasn't here for it. I know the regional, but give us some more specifics.
Yeah, so they will host the College Station Regional here at Davis Diamond. Big 12 champion and Trisha Ford's old school, the Arizona State Sun Devils, will be here. The Big East champions, the Yukon Huskies, will be here. And the Southland Conference champions, the McNeese State Cowboys, will be here as well. The Aggies will begin that regional hosting the Yukon Huskies Friday at 1 p.m. on ESPN2.
Great opportunity for reporters probably to make some extra cash.
Yeah.
One year, way back when I covered Texas and Austin, and that was back when it was in 8 teams to one region. Arizona State and Hawaii both came to that region, and both papers called me and said, "Hey, can you cover it for us?" So all I had to do was change the lead, right?
Right.
I made like $850 that weekend.
That's the way to do it.
Because Hawaii was paying $150 a game, and they made it to the final.
That's a great weekend.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Make an extra $850.
Niagara, any text messages or comments on YouTube or TexAgs chat of note?
So we did have someone talking about the Bee Gees, Robin Gibb.
Robin
Gibb.
There's Robin, Barry, and Maurice.
Yep.
And then they had their cokehead brother Andy who died.
And then people were saying that Nuño was working out, which is why.
No, I haven't worked out today.
He missed it. Well, you're not allowed to work out for the next 6 to 8 weeks. It sounds like.
He's gonna be doing one-arm push-ups like Rocky Balboa.
I'm still gonna do things. Like I just can't lift heavy weights apparently. Which who says I did anyway? So I can't do a little MMA. It's all right.
Can't lift heavy weights, huh? Does that mean you can't scratch your head?
Oh no. They it'll be back to normal. So tomorrow we'll do a full hour. I had actually a bunch of footballs. So the plan was for me to be back by the time the show started, but I just wasn't.
Doctors.
But I got a bunch of football stuff to get into tomorrow.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to those.
Look forward to it.
All right, when we come back here on TexAgs Live, Michael Earley in studio, Ryan Brauninger in studio. We'll talk about the weekend at Ole Miss, look ahead at Mississippi State here on TexAgs Live. We are back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio, Baseball Talk. Ryan Brauninger in studio. Here we are joined by Michael Earley, the head coach of the A&M baseball team. Coach Earley, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So let's go over the weekend. Split the doubleheader. Obviously, an offensive onslaught in that first game. You guys end up losing the series, but overall, how do you feel about where things are, considering a lot of curveballs were thrown at you this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, from a standpoint, we got to get healthy, right? We got to win this weekend, and you're trying to win this weekend, and you're trying to win moving forward. So we got to get our guys healthy. But it was effort was great, just not great execution offensively as a whole. Like definitely struck out too much. A team that clearly struggles defensively, you got to make them make plays. And when we did, they didn't. They made some, but they obviously kicked it around too. But I thought pitchers had some really good moments. There's some really good stuff in there. Like Shane was really, really good. In that new role. And then, Fresh Corn did exactly what we thought he could do. We just didn't give him enough help. But guys played tough, played hard, need to execute better, need to get healthy here moving forward. And we're going to take these next, few days to take advantage of them that we're not playing in midweek.
Yeah, what can you tell us? And you brought the health. What can you tell us about Nico? And let's start with Boston first because that's top of mind. Pretty scary moment.
Yeah.
You were with him on Friday night. How's he feeling? And the broadcast said, I don't know if you knew this, the broadcast said broken orbital bone, no concussion, no vision issues. How accurate is that? And where is Boston in terms of health today?
That's accurate. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I just need to see him. I haven't seen him today yet. You know what I mean? So by all accounts, it was a good outcome considering a broken bone in the face. Doesn't seem to need surgery, doesn't have a concussion. Text with him last night, said he can see, vision is coming back. I wouldn't be shocked if he played this weekend. Just if he's okay and can play, he's a tough dude. So it was when you see a guy like that you're like, you got guys on the team the guys that they're not all tough. I promise you that. That. The guys that are tough and the guys that might be a little dramatic, and he's about as tough as it gets. So that makes it even scarier when you get hit in the face and you got a guy like that. That's really it's scary. Not that it's just you just hate to see it, man. Hate to see it.
Well, and then how close or far away is Nico? Because you came here last week, I think you said it was kind of better that he did it. He wasn't running.
Yeah.
It wasn't moving like that. So
I don't know if that was just me being hopeful. I'm not a doctor, but I would think that makes a ton of sense. He he took this weekend. He went with us. He jogged a little bit. We're going to be cautious, but also it's a fine line, right? Got to win, playing for something bigger. It's all going to really depend on these next few days and how he feels, but we need him to be pretty close to 100% before we put him out there.
Well, and then you mentioned with Boston being out, obviously Royo 7 for 7. It's an interesting case, right? Because Ben, that he can do that. Like you saw it last year in stretches.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty incredible.
But going forward now, I think even if Boston's healthy, is Ben, you got to play him right now.
He's going to play somewhere, yeah. I mean, he's yet to get out. I guess he did the day before. He probably did an awesome job. So, yeah, I mean, with how Chris is moving, we'll see how he is. I don't think, just get him to second base is a thing. But now with how Ben's playing, it becomes, to me, less
important to play him defense.
Less important, you don't got to really push it. So, Boston's going to play, and then Ben's going to play, and then Chris is going to DH is the way I look at it as of sitting here this moment. If Boston, again, got hit in the face with 97, so if he can play. If not, Ben did great, and he's, I'd be foolish to take him out.
And then, you mentioned Shane. What does that mean that that recipe worked last weekend? So this is what we will continue to do, just kind of feature him behind an opener. And then you never really came out and said that Darden was an opener. All the Darden you said.
I keep telling people when you do an opener, your one time to get people not to know is the first time, but it's become the buzzword in my Thursday media sessions about an opener. I guess I've never heard it as much until this season. But if Darden was not an opener, if Darden was pitching well, I would have, he would have thrown 70 to 80 pitches. He's okay. We got him out to the point where we thought, he'd be able to give us an inning the next day. And it was a little shaky, right? But yeah, I think I think that's what we'll continue to do because I know Darden's going to pitch better than that first time out there. But yeah, I mean, Shane, as of right now, that's what we're going to continue to roll with. And I think Darden's going to be a little better for us on the front side.
Talk about the highs and lows offensively, the too many strikeouts that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And then obviously the offensive onslaught that we talked about.
Yeah, it was just, it just wasn't good. It was bad. It was bad, especially the first game. And credit to their pitchers. Those guys are really good. But I'm just not in the business of giving credit to pitchers. You know what I mean? That's just not. And we made a great adjustment. It was good. You'd assume it would carry over. And it didn't, to the point where you got guys, the first guy and the third guy, that's career highs for them. So I'm not crazy that wasn't good enough. And you see when we moved the baseball, the thing about the home run game where we hit 7 home runs, which is a school record, so you don't do that a lot, right? It was the guys on base. Why'd they get on base? Because we moved the ball, got on base, guys hit balls the other way. It's not the home runs. That's not how our offense is built. Our offense is built for the home runs to be the cherry on top. You get guys on base, you walk, you move balls with 2 strikes, you put pressure on the defense, you hit home runs, you're good. You would have hit 3 home runs, we would have won the game. We just happened to hit 7. So we'll be better. We'll definitely be better.
What was the most frustrating part? Was it the end zone whiff or was it Chase?
It's end zone. No, not Chase. It's end zone, pitches end zone with 2 strikes. Off-speed pitches end zone with 2 strikes means a just lack of commitment to trying to move the ball the other way. When you get to 2 strikes, if you're watching on TV, and I don't care anyone who knows it because people know it, if we get blown up with a fastball inside with 2 strikes, that's okay. You've given up that right? Yeah. And when you're missing end zone with 2 strikes, you're still worried, I just might get that fastball. It's like being to be a hitter, right? You gotta, and I use this example with guys, it's like a casino. You want to be the house. What's the house do? They do the same thing over and over again. They stick with the approach. They stay with it. Are you always going to win? No. But you start becoming a gambler when you're a hitter, you might hit here and there, but ultimately you're going to lose. And that's my little analogy for it I use with them, but you want to just stick with it, keep right. It's not always going to work, but it's going to work more times than not if you deviate.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting doubleheader because you hit 9 homers over the stretch of 18 or I guess 16 offensive innings. And Jorian doesn't really impact the ball, but he moves it, at times.
Yeah, he did a great job in that first game.
Do you think that you have to have conversations with him, or is he at the point now where he gets it? He sees the ball flying all over the yard with his other teammates, and he's going to want to get the ball in the air, that kind of thing.
I don't know about that. Maybe, possibly. It's a constant conversation with him and all of them. So, yeah, you can't. Yeah, that could be definitely a thing. But I just think he's got to swing at better pitches and not miss in the zone. And he did. He was good. That's what we need him to do. Again, it's not about home runs. I saw we just hit 100 homers, I guess.
Second time in 3 years.
My wife showed me. Yeah, so it's great. It's not about that though. You got to get on base because in order to score, you got to be on base. So home runs are great, but I thought what he did, moving the ball, 2 strikes, getting hits, was even better.
I think he had a backside single through the shift before one of the homers.
Yeah, he did
in the 18-run game on 2 strikes. Yeah. So it speaks to your point. On the other side, I want to talk about the decision to go to fresh corn as early as y'all did. What were the conversations like in the dugout? Because it's you can stretch him out 70, 80 pitches and he's fine, especially if he hadn't thrown. But it took I'm sure you had to say, hey, no, it's got to be fresh right here.
I told JK we're putting him in when we were down 5-0, just because I wanted to try to stall them out. Now it just worked out perfect that when he's getting hot, we score 5 runs. And I was like, we're going to see how long he can go. And we just want to be at a point where we can win the game. And if someone else has to come in the 9th, they have to come in the 9th. But I just thought at that point we needed to keep it there because I believe in our offense that we're going to score. We scored, and then we just happened to stop. And he pitched great. He deserved to win that game, and we just didn't get it done. But it was just one of those where it's okay, it just didn't feel right. It just felt like they were on base, putting a ton of pressure. I'm like, okay, let's stop them now, and we'll figure the rest out later. Also, with how they approach offense, they swing a ton. they swing a ton. So I felt really good about him getting some length into the game.
And then Hunter Bond had another really good couple of innings.
Yeah.
Now, he hasn't pitched in super high leverage spots yet, but given the way he's thrown the ball in his appearances, you go back to Tuesday against PV, and he's kind of riding that momentum. When does he start becoming, hey, we need to move him up and give him leverage opportunities?
Yeah, and I look at that too. Definitely not a leverage, but kind of, because to me that was a 3-run game.
Yeah, because you were trying to get out of there without
trying to win, so we didn't have to throw anyone else and stretch it out, but not quite. But you weren't just gonna throw anyone right there because you wanted to get out of that game. So he's definitely earned it. He's definitely going to keep getting the ball in different spots, especially with Darden and Shane in that combo. Hunter Bond becomes even more important. So it's important to get him back out there to see what he can do.
Gavin Lyons, he's been one of your more reliable arms this year. Just this week in particular, 2 appearances. Where do you see him going overall?
Back to the mound over and over again as many times as we can. It's just, again, a unique, not unique, but pretty unique, like his ability to bounce back. I don't know if it's the arm slot. They say softball pitchers can throw. I don't know if it's, the lower you are, the less you have wear and tear. But his ability to be in the conditioning shape he's in, the arm shape he's in, and the ability to compete and keep competing at that level, I'm trying to get this guy the ball. And even when the thing about we get to see there's so much context lost when you're not in the program, that's not a bad thing, but you really kind of know when he's not great. Mm-hmm. And his not great now is still pretty good because he's just competing. It's before, when he was off, it would kind of, I want to say fall off a cliff, but you could tell really early. So even when he's not good or doesn't look the same, he's still competing and getting guys out. And then when he's good, it's turned into he's great. So I love giving him the ball, and we're gonna see how many times we can do it.
You said last year, one of my favorite quotes you said in the offseason was, if you could change the results in 25 for the fans and the players, you would 100% do it, but you wouldn't change any of the results for you and how much you've grown and what you learned from it. Here again, at the tail end of a season, you're getting punched in the mouth by stuff you really can't control with the injuries. How much, now looking back at it, how much more are you ready to handle this and more confident in your decision making going through it than you may have been a year ago?
Oh, I'd say a lot. I mean, I guess if we never got hurt or had the issues last year, maybe I would be feeling a different way about this. So to your point, yeah, I mean, once you go through something at a really weird high level with some of those guys last year, it's just you just move to the next, and you just put guys in there, and you try to put the best lineup or best pitching staff out, and just coach the guys you have, and like you've been coaching them all year. So it's a game, right? And we don't get when you look at the schedule, there's not like an asterisk out to the side that Sorrell didn't play, Grahovic didn't play, Kopian's banged up, Partita's out. In the end, it doesn't matter. So the message to the team is it doesn't matter, and we've really encouraged these guys all year to stay ready. We facilitate things to them so they can stay ready. It's their job to do it, and they've done it. So I think overall we've kept everyone in the program ready at a pretty high level. Now, you can't coach everyone the same. It just is what it is. Caden Sorrell is probably getting more attention than the guy that hasn't played in 3 weeks. Now, we're setting up machines. We're doing stuff. We got other coaches just to keep ready. And I think that's helping. We got to bridge this gap a little bit. And then once we do, we get guys back. I think we're going to have a good year.
And it could end up being a good reset for Nico and Boston because
it's a long year. Sorry to interrupt. It's for a freshman. This is a lot. They've never played this much, not even close.
And Jorian Jorian got a later start, but there's going to be a little bit of fatigue. So what do you do now? How does your week look this week compared to what it would have with a Tuesday game?
Well, we've had back-to-back doubleheaders, which is a lot.
Yep.
Pushed up. Off yesterday. We got home at noon. They're off yesterday. They're off again today. So pretty much 2 days off, rest, reset, get your body in a good shape. More importantly, get your mind in good shape. and then we'll go back to practice Tuesday and Wednesday, play Thursday. But just a lot of little things we're doing, like a little less on their feet when they can. Like we've base run and BP all year, like every day. We've cut that down just a little bit. It's not going to affect our base running, right? If you can't base run at this point, you can't base run. So just little stuff like that, a little more hitting in the cage and just trying to keep them fresh, getting the outfielders off defense during BP a little earlier, especially Sorrell because he shags in center field which is why he's good.
Right.
But just trying to educate them to be smart, but also put them in positions to get rest.
I want to update before we let him get out of here. I want to update on the facility. How's it look? How's it coming along? Have you gotten to go in there yet?
I have. I had to wear a hard hat, which is interesting. Little strap underneath it. We went in there. So it is, it's incredible. Like, it was only white walls and there's construction everywhere, but those guys have just done an unbelievable job at actually hearing my words, putting them on paper, and then building it, because I definitely couldn't do that. But it's huge. Like, I told him it's like obnoxious big in a good way. It's great. So, man, I can't wait to not only work in there, do stuff with guys in there, but like the first impression of a recruit when you walk in that building, because there's not a place bigger or better than what this is going to be, especially when it all gets done. It's massive, just a massive building, and I know a massive thing for our program. So it's really cool.
Let me close out with this, and excuse me for being a talk show host here when I say this.
No, you're good.
Like, postseason starts now, right? Like, that's kind of the mindset the rest of the way.
Yeah. I think, if you watch us play, like, we've played with, I don't know if desperation's a word. I think it's more not desperate, just urgency and like just playing to win, and our ability to respond all year has been there, right? And that's how you got to play in the postseason. So I think for us, and I was listening to a Joe Madden thing yesterday, it was like, we're just trying to keep stuff the same because we've prepared for it all year. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there is that, right? You can't hide from it, but we've preached this since the fall. Like, it's about winning. That's why it's been so easy for these guys, I think, just to continue to do what we've done. We've taken our bumps, we've taken our lumps, we've lost games, we've played bad, but we've, for the most part, fixed it every single time, just because urgency and winning has been put at a very high level since, August 15th. And credit to these players and the leadership of the team. But, it's been playoffs for us for a while. Now it just, it's going to be on paper.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with more right now. If you're looking for real peace of mind when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment management. And what really sets them apart is the over 9 CFPs, the CFA, and the CPA all on staff. They take their credentials seriously, and they work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel good about. Go to paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Remind me, you're a historian here. I should have looked this up before, but in 22, didn't they lose a couple series heading into Hoover?
They lost in 24.
In 24 as well.
They lost at LSU and at Ole Miss in conference week 8 and 9, and then they had to come home against Arkansas, and it was essentially the same type of series that A&M's got coming up against Mississippi State, where they were both playing for a national seed.
Yep.
And the Aggies needed to win the series, and they did. They took game 1. Remember that it started really late, and it was Hagen Smith against Prager, 1-0. A&M won, and then Arkansas won on Saturday, and A&M won. It was like a bajillion degrees on that Sunday or that final game 3, and A&M won that one. But yeah, look around the league, man. It's just what Auburn's doing is pretty remarkable, and what Georgia has done is pretty remarkable. Georgia's won the league. Auburn's won 7 straight conference series or 6 straight conference series, something like that. Red hot. But Texas goes on the road to a Tennessee team that had been floundering, and they really, they got some offense late in game 3 to pull away, but they were looking at a sweep there for half the game on Sunday. But it's what this league is, man. Florida drops one to Kentucky and nearly dropped another one. Lost a home series to Kentucky. Vanderbilt, whose postseason streak's on the line, they go and they lose a series to Mizzou.
Missouri, yeah.
There's no difference in explaining like what this league is whenever A&M came out of the Oklahoma series to now when they're looking at the final series of the year. It's just, outside of Mizzou and South Carolina, who can get you every now and then, 1-14 can get you on any weekend. They really can. And A&M lost 5-3 and then 6-5 on the road. They're one swing away. They're one swing away, really a foot away from getting swept against Auburn or winning the series against Auburn. That's the margins in this league. And everybody's dealing with it, man. And everybody is getting to the point of the season where you think you know what you are, and you're kind of, if you're a glass half full person and like on a baseball staff, like I guarantee you part of this with Coach Earley is you're like, I'm glad this is happening now. I'm glad this is happening now. And I also bet if you went back and read social media or the message boards after A&M dropped the second consecutive series in 2024,
Same kind of stuff.
Same kind of stuff.
Yeah.
People worried about the direction of the program and calling it underachieving and all this. Like, it's just, that's why when you go into every SEC season, the goal is like 15-15 because that's what the margins are. And if you go above that, that's why 16-14 a lot of times will get you hosting. 17-13 definitely will. And A&M, with a series win this weekend against Mississippi State, I kind of outlined it on the boards yesterday, that you feel really good with a series win against Mississippi State that you're a top 8 national seed. And they had some results go their way yesterday. Kansas got swept by West Virginia. Coastal Carolina lost a series that they shouldn't have. So the Aggies are getting a little bit of help. And if they can manage to finish second or third in the league, next weekend, Georgia plays Auburn, Texas plays Mizzou. You assume they're going to win 3. A&M's got a really tough one against Mississippi State. Does Georgia care against Auburn?
Right.
They've got the league wrapped up. They've got a national seed wrapped up. But if you can finish second or third in the SEC, you're going to be a national seed. Like, no question. That's a bad precedent for them to set.
So I said this earlier in the show. Nobody likes when you say, I would have bought this, before the season started, if you would have told me this was the situation. But the bottom line is you're going into the last home series of the year against a top 10 team with a chance to solidify a potential top 8 national seed. And that to me is a story. I know we got used to winning all the series in a row, but to me, you have an opportunity this weekend to do exactly that, and nobody was buying that.
Yeah, when you were playing as the best baseball of your season, that was building your insurance for the back half, because inevitably in this league, you're going to go through some dips, and A&M's in a dip right now. They started against Oklahoma and Georgia. They weren't playing great baseball. And you're just going to ride the roller coaster of a season, especially within this league and the margins being what they are. But you make a good point. Now, I also think it's important to go back to early February and remember that Texas A&M was picked by the coaches 13th in the league. And now if they can go out and get 2 out of 3 from Mississippi State, while dealing with all these injuries, and they finish second or third in the league, I think Michael Earley should be heavily in the conversation for Coach of the Year. Because I don't know where you look nationally where a team overachieved based off preseason expectations to what they finished up as. But there's still a long way to go for that to happen. These are 3 big games next weekend. Them not having a midweek is really good for them right now. It just gets some guys off their feet. I said before the weekend that I thought Kellner needed a break. Now,
you did say that, yeah.
I didn't want it to be this way, but he just looked fatigued. Maybe if he comes back, if he plays this weekend, gracious sakes, Boston Kellner be proud of David Nuño for walking in here today playing with a broken finger. But he's going to be playing SEC baseball with a broken orbital bone if he plays. Right. I don't think Coach Earley was hinting at for sure he's going to play. But if he plays, maybe he feels better. Just having a different view of the game, some time off. And when Nico comes back, maybe he's refreshed. And maybe this week off, hey, Jorian, don't pick up a bat for a few days. Right. Just get these freshmen a complete or as much of a reset as they possibly can. Because in order for this team to reach whatever potential, whatever ceiling this season has on it, those guys have to be healthy. What a tremendous job by Ben Royo of coming in and when his number was called, just completely overperforming. It's beyond admirable. It's beyond incredible for what he did. Now, he's going to end up getting out, and just like every other baseball player, he's going to go through highs and lows, but Coach Earley's right. After that, you don't come out of the lineup, even when Kellner's healthy. Did Kellner move to second? Royo plays second, whatever. But those 2 guys are in the lineup when Boston's healthy. So I thought against Ole Miss, that doubleheader, given the circumstances, that lineup played about as close to its ceiling as you could have possibly hoped for, right? I mean, what else did you really want them to do? I'd like to see Jorian, getting into that power surge or whatever, right. But you don't get to pick and choose. I thought that overall, they showed a ton of guts on Saturday, man. They really did. And they needed one. They needed one to keep them on their path to a national seed. I was texting with Kendall a little bit yesterday, and he was like, yeah, man, if they go and win 2 out of 3, everybody that I'm talking to feels really confident that they're going to get a top 8 seed.
Thank you, Bronny.
Yep.
We'll do some more of this on Thursday. Right now in Texas, your HVAC system isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And when you need service, it matters who you call. Call the Daily Company. They're a locally owned and operated company that take real pride in serving the community. They have an HVAC department that provides comprehensive service that includes repair, maintenance, full system installation. So if your AC stops working in the middle of the summer, your heater needs attention during the cold, let's go back to the summertime because it's about to get hot here, as it already is. They have offer HVAC emergency repair because they know breakdowns never happen at a convenient time. Their team works with all the major brands, so contact the Daily Company because they're going to stand behind everything that they do, and they treat every home like it's their own. Contact the Daily Company at 979-260-2020. That's 979-260-2020. Stay comfortable year-round with a local team that you can trust. Visit them online at godaily.com and experience the daily difference. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. A real one is our next guest, Wade Taylor, joining the program. Talk about life, professional basketball, his camp coming up to Brian here soon. Wade, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, David? Good to see you.
Great to see you as well. So,
to be here. Man,
it's so weird to me because I've been at TexAgs since 21. I remember when you got on campus, and now you're like an adult. Not like an adult in college, like an adult. It's gone by so fast, man. How you been?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I think about that every day. I remember just stepping on campus, just checking in, just getting to walk around, go to the cafeteria, my first day of class, and now it's like I have 2 degrees and I don't even have class. It's just I wake up and my job now is being a professional basketball player. So my job is to wake up and practice and work out. And now it's like, all right, so what do I do after that? So kind of just trying to find a hobby, man. I think I'm going to start golfing, just trying to find things to, occupy my time whenever I'm not doing my work,
Well, let's find out all about the last year, but catch me up on this camp that's coming up June 13th and 14th at Legends Event Center in Bryan. Talk to me about what you're trying to do and some of the cool things you guys are putting together.
Yeah, it's just, man, my time in Bryan, my time in College Station, just all around, was just phenomenal, and it's part of me now. Like it's part of my home. It's where I want to be. So I told my dad, like, hey, let's start a camp. So I want to kind of wanted to be an annual thing, so I could always have an excuse to come back to College Station. So we're having our first one at Bryan, the Legends Event Center, ages 5 through 15. I'm just want all the relationships that I made with the kids that we had that came to the camp when I were there at school. All those kids to come hang out with me, man, get better. I just want to give back to the community that poured so much into me. I'm excited to come down there and just be around my family, just being around the people that helped me shape who I am today and give back to the city that, kind of helped made me. So I'm just thankful to be in this position to, have my first one.
Well, Wade, you strike me as the kind of person who's going to be very involved in this camp. Not just, hey, guys, thanks for coming. Like, you're going to be like, and from what I'm reading, you're going to be very hands-on.
Yeah, no, definitely. Not even just me. I'm bringing the whole band back. Henry's going to be there. Hayden's going to be there. Zurich's going to be there. Manny's going to be there. So in some of my videos, when I say me and my teammates, those are the guys that kind of play with me, that kind of help me shape, what we did in Aggieland. So I'm excited for those guys to be back. Because I know the kids that's going to be there are not only going to be excited to be there because it's my camp, but they're going to be excited to see those guys because you never know. Some of the guys that come, I might not be their favorite player. They might look up to Henry. They might have had a relationship with Manny. So I just want all the guys to come back, and, man, we have just another weekend, just be in College Station, and just, continue to give back to the people who cared about us so much. So I'm glad that those guys are going to come back and, have a little fun with us.
How proud are you of your time at A&M individually and also what you guys were able to accomplish as a program?
Yeah, man, extremely thankful. I think it really hasn't hit me to where I can really sit back and look on all the things that I've really done because I feel like I'm just still kind of fresh out. But I think in about 3 to 4 years, I'm really going to be like, oh, wow, like it was a time. And I think the things that we did as a team, just not from my freshman year to my senior year, all the adversity, all of the wins, the losses, I think we were just a team that was just great. I think we all did the things that were necessary. I mean, everybody that was seniors, we all graduated. Some of us have 2 degrees. I think that's a big part that gets misconstrued. I think with us staying with this transfer portal era, with all of us staying there so long and building the chemistry that we had, building that family, I think that's just special. That's something that now it's easy for me to like, hey, you guys want to come to my camp, come help. Like it's easy to do those things because we built those relationships. But I think we had a great tenure there. I think we did a lot of special things, and I think we definitely go down as one of a good tenure of A&M basketball.
Wade, it's interesting. I look back at that 22 season where you guys made the NIT and went all the way to the final. Yeah. I'm still mad you didn't make the NCAA tournament. Like it's still to this day, it still hurts me.
And to this day, we still talk about it every time. Yeah. Thankfully, all praise to the man above. The 3 years we made the tournament back in a row, we weren't on the bubble, so we knew we were going to be in, so we didn't have to have that feeling in our stomach like, oh man, what if they do it to us again? Because I'm telling you, everybody on that team that went to the NIT was scarred from that day, and not even just us. I mean, I talk to Q almost every other day, and I just be like, yo, bro, I hate that happened to us that year, because you deserved to play an NCAA tournament because of how special your senior year was. And I told him, bro, every year after that, we made it for you because we know how much you poured into our program and all the people before you that came that didn't get a chance to play in it. So that year, man, I'm glad we did that in the NIT. I'm glad we made that run and was able to go to New York and play for the championship. But man, that was a special year, but I hate that we didn't get to get our name called.
One of the things you said that I think is, a testament of what Buzz and you guys were able to do was you stayed together. So I'm just curious if you're allowed to share. Maybe you can't, but I'm sure your phone was ringing when you were at A&M. People were like, because you were growing, yeah. But to me, it seemed like you were always committed to being here.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. I think after my junior year, somebody put out a fake report that I was in the portal, and it kind of just went crazy. I mean, guys were calling my dad. People were calling my cousin. He's a professional basketball player. He's retired now. They were just saying, like, hey, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? And it's so funny. I mean, I was literally on a walk with Buzz at the time. And I'm like, Coach, I know you're not on social media, but I'm just letting you know, I have no thoughts of going anywhere. When I committed to you guys, pre-NIL, anything, I wanted to be here because you guys believed in who I am and I believed in you guys. And I'm part of a family now. I didn't build too much in College Station. I didn't connect with too many fans and too many families, and I didn't connect with y'all too well to just throw that out the way and leave. And like I said, we had 7-8 guys who were there every year from my freshman year. I mean, that core, I could never leave those guys. I think we built something that nobody can take away from us. So for me to just up and leave to try to build something new for my last year, no, that never crossed the thought of my mind. I know, and I think if that would have happened, I wouldn't have been able to come back and do things like this. It wouldn't have been as special. And I think, but I think since I stayed those years and I built and I worked and I did everything that I was able to do, I think this coming back every time makes it more special. When I come back to a football game, when I can come back and watch buckyball, when I can come back to a baseball game, I can come have a camp. I think that just makes it more intriguing because I'm coming back to my family. I've been here with you guys. I know the chants. I know all the things that goes on. So coming back to Aggie Land, it's like I'm going home.
Well, you come home to watch the new basketball team, right? New players, new coach, new system. What do you think about Bucky in year one and what maybe year two could look like?
I love it. Man, when I was going through pre-draft last summer, I was coming back to A&M, just working out in the gym and things like that. And I was able to kind of just see how it kind of started. It was still, okay, we got this coach coming in. All right, well, we got these players coming in. And just to see what those guys formed in year one with the time they had was great. It was phenomenal. I mean, knowing some of the guys, I know Pop, I know Rylan, he's from Dallas. I kind of knew Rashawn just by social media. I knew Noah, of course. I know Chris. He played with us last year. I kind of just knew all the guys they kind of wanted to build with. I knew McKenzie. So to see how those guys came together and fought how I know Aggie's fight, it was tremendous. And I think this year is going to be even more special. I mean, I know PJ. And I watch college basketball a lot, so a lot of the guys that they have through the portal, I've seen them play, and I'm excited because when I see him, I'm like, yeah, he fits Bucky, yeah, he fit, So I'm excited to see what a whole year, and then when they get a whole summer with those guys, they can do. I told Coach Ned, I said, Coach, I'll be down in the summer. Is it cool if I come in and I maybe work out with the guys? Can I just come and just be around? Because I know that you guys are going to keep it going, and I'm excited to see it.
Well, I'm excited to see your professional growth. Talk to me about Mexico City, playing with Andy, and just the whole experience of being a pro for a year.
I think year one was great. I mean, I feel like me and Andy did well. We took Mexico City to the playoffs the first time in history. The fan base were great. We had the best. I would say we had the best fans in the G. But first year I'm thankful, man, to get the opportunity to show that one, I belong. I can do it. So I'm excited this summer to see what will happen next. I'm excited. I'm ready. I think we have something pretty special coming. But to play with Andy, man, I think that took a lot of nervous thoughts and things out because I have somebody on this court that knows my game almost better than I do, and same to go for him. I mean, when we'll be done with the game one night, he'll just come in my room and we'll just hang out and we'll watch the Aggies, because he feels comfortable around me and I feel comfortable around him. And just to be able to play with him year one, coming out. The first year is always probably the most challenging year, and to have him to go through those challenges to go through those ups and downs, and not knowing what's next, not knowing what's this was great. And he did phenomenal. He was able to get a 10-day call up with the Jazz, and he was excited, man. I was happy for him. Happy to see what he has in store next, and I think we'll continue to keep trying to make the Aggies proud.
Learning some Spanish out there?
A little bit. I can get around a little bit. When you're out there so much and every which way you turn, you got to speak some Spanish, so it's not too bad.
All right, well, let's close out with a reminder about the camp. Just tell me some of the particulars so people know where to sign up and be involved here, June 13th and 14th?
Yes, so I've been posting. I have a page. It's called the Wade Taylor Camp Instagram page. You can actually go to my Instagram. It's going to be on there. You just sign up. It's all ages from 5 to 15. It's 2 days. It is 2 days, the 13th and 14th, right at the Bryan Legend Center. We're going to have a pretty good time. You get an autograph. You get a shirt. We get a ball. We're just going to have some fun. We're going to get better. If you have any questions, you guys can always reach out to me. I'm always going to get back. I'm just excited to see you guys. I want you guys to come out, have some fun. It's going to be a great time. I'm happy to be back in Aggie land.
Wade, man, we appreciate you. One of my favorites of all time. Thanks for making a few minutes, and we'll see you here in a couple of weeks.
Of course. Sounds good.
Thank you. Wade Taylor there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll have a team from TexAgs there. I know Luke is going to catch up with Wade here soon enough as well. So we'll bring that to you June 13th and 14th at the Legends Event Center in Bryan. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with a short segment. Then we'll do a 10 o'clock, find out what's popping on TexAgs with Billy Liucci. When it comes to preserving your farm and your ranch's legacy, it's not about capturing pretty pictures. It's about making sure that the future generations know exactly what they're inheriting, the why behind it. And Heritage Films has created this Farm and Ranch Films, which basically captures the essence of your land. But Heritage Films doesn't just tell documentaries about family ranches. They'll do it about family businesses. They'll do it about family stories. Your grandmother, your grandfather, your dad, your mom, whoever it may be. Let them be an eye in the sky at a family event and tell the 2-hour story, right? The Nuño story, the Nigran story, the Savage story, whatever it may be. Let Chance and his team tell that story in a 2-hour documentary, and I think it's going to be very therapeutic for your family, and it's going to be a gift for the future generations. Check out yourheritagefilm.com. That is yourheritagefilm.com. 713-893-8341. 713-893-8341 is Heritage Films. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggie land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites, well, they'll be on their way. And they're not open on Mondays, by the way. Reese Nygren at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Wade Taylor, it was great. I think it would be weird to be Wade, and not in a bad way. No, like, you had this program that was built on like loyalty and being together, and the moment you leave, it's a completely different program. I just think it would be like when somebody moves into your house, right? And you're like, wait, like you move out, you go check. Wait, that's not where the couch goes. That's not where the TV goes. It just feels different. It was cool that he had a great relationship with Bucky and all those players, and he got to work out with them.
Yeah, I think it was really cool to see someone from one era of the program still be a part of a different era of the program. And someone asked, they were like, could you imagine Wade Taylor playing in Buckyball?
He would have scored a lot of points, buddy.
I think someone was like, I think he might have set the scoring record in 3 years rather than 4. He would have gotten a lot of shots.
Which makes what he did during the Buzz era, I think, even more ridiculous. Because it was such a defensive possession.
Yeah, it's like dragging out possessions. They're going 28, 29 seconds long. And in Buckyball, if you go 28, 29 seconds long, something's gone wrong.
And by the way, I don't mean that as a show. I love the Buzz era. I did. I got down with it. I love defensive basketball. I love rebounding. But aesthetically, what Bucky's doing, and also like I just think there's a higher ceiling right now with this program.
Yeah, I think with the style of play that you go at in today's college basketball, it's definitely fitting.
All right, we'll hit a break. When we come back, we'll find out what's popping on TexAgs today. We'll probably tap dance for a minute, and then Billy Liucci will join us here on the world-famous TexAgs Live. Hey, everybody. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is hour number 3 of the program. Should be joined by Billy Liucci at some point. We've got a lot to get into with Billy. We will go through the baseball weekend. We've got some football to get into. A lot of postseason news out there with women's tennis, women's golf. Yeah. We've got, what else? We got softball starting up here this weekend as well. So quite a few. Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
Goodness gracious. I was not expecting that.
Does that say 10:01?
I didn't mean it like that. I just, usually I hear No, I usually hear you in the lobby. I didn't hear a thing.
I didn't come in yelling?
Yes. You're like, you're not yelling, but usually I hear like laughter because you made a good joke in the lobby, or people feel compelled to laugh at the boss's joke, like that kind of thing. Yeah, both.
That would be you. Because I heard a joke this morning. I was like, nobody laughed at that. But I think
what joke did I do? I don't even remember a joke. I don't even think I was here long enough to do a joke. What joke was it? You don't remember the joke? Huh? Welcome to the show.
We'll raise this chair up a little bit.
How was your weekend, buddy?
It was good. How was yours?
It was good. It was good. Let's talk a little baseball, shall we?
Yeah, that's what I'm here to talk about.
Well, we got a lot to talk about.
We got to talk about how high those sleeves are pulled up, but we're here to talk about baseball.
Why are you pulling an Olin where you do the little smile as you're delivering a joke and let people know?
Do I?
What?
I don't like raising this chair up so high, but if you're going to be 7 inches higher in your chair, then I'm going to have to do the same thing.
What was that face for? Anyway, baseball-wise, it was. Do you have the exact quote? How Coach Earley phrased it? Like, I think he said he wouldn't be surprised. No, he didn't say that. He's basically, it wouldn't shock him if Boston plays this weekend. Now, I don't think he's saying he's going to play this weekend, but it wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why everybody raced to go say he was out for some extended period of time. Yeah. At some point, I know they're not going to, but things like Kellner and Damian Sanford, because I feel like some people, and it's people that even report on this stuff, they feel obligated to go with what the wave of social media is telling them and the doom and gloom of it all. And it's Damian Sanford's a perfect example, and now Kellner is as well. And yeah, he might be back this weekend. And if he's not, and he misses one series, it's still not an extended period of time. It's literally one series, which would be a better way to put it. Like, should be back in time for Hoover, or certainly going to have him back in time for, the tournament. So, other thing that drove me nuts this weekend was just reading the reaction by a certain group of the fan base that, like, they're begging to turn on the coach, on the players, and they can't handle, like, look, like, I know, like, if you just told me, hey, this is the lineup that's going to go into the postseason, obviously we're all going to be much more concerned and lower your level of hope of what the team can accomplish. That's any sports team ever that suffers multiple key injuries. Look at these NBA playoffs. Mm-hmm. It feels like that's every year. Team will be rolling along. They lose one guy. That's it for them. What the baseball team has done the last, I'd say since game 2 against Auburn, nothing has worried or concerned me other than if they don't get these guys back, particularly Partita, with that being muscle pull. Like, it's like, man, I think he changes so much because A, you put his bat in the lineup, B, you get him back at third and Grahovic back at first. Like, that's a huge swing there. Royo this weekend, who we'll talk about in a minute, that kind of changes your thought process a little on the Hakopian not being in the field thing, especially if you get Kellner back. Could you go Hakopian at second and Royo at short and have a hot bat and Royo coming in? So who knows there? You go Kellner, at second, and Royo at short, and then, if you have to keep Hakopian DHing, who knows? Or can he get back in the field? So, but I look up at times this weekend, guys, and if you can't, I saw someone trying to correct Zane. It's only one injury, and everybody has them. If you can't look and say they had 5 defensive players out of position or that weren't normally playing,
against Ole Miss. 5, right? 5 out of 8. Pitchers, we're not counting here. 5 out of 8. You had Barrett catcher. You had Sorrell in center and Jorian in left. Every other position was not what your ideal starting lineup. It was not what you expected. That's a wild amount of shuffling and attrition. It's not one injury. It had gotten to 3 because it's Hakopian not going in the field, which has a tremendous effect on what they can do defensively. It basically keeps Terrence Keel out of the game defensively and left, which hurts you on Friday night. And then you've got Kellner, Hakopian. You got Kellner and Hakopian now. I mean, it's a significant amount of attrition at this time. Not to mention, how many pitchers are they down right now for the year that they thought they'd have this year? It's 3.
3.
Including a freshman that I know Early told me would have a chance to be a weekend starter when they signed him. So it's not normal attrition. It's a wild amount.
But people don't want to hear that.
And the other thing is some of those guys are coming back, David. And the other thing is they've lost 2 back-to-back series by 1 run, and they're in second place in the SEC with 1 weekend left and fighting to host a super regional. There should be zero negativity. There certainly can be concern of like, damn, if we don't get healthy, like, what are you going to this team had so much potential, and now what? Like that should be the thing that's on everybody's mind. Is like, gosh, we need to get these guys back so we can make a run because this team has shown the potential that they could make a run. And again, I always say this because to these people, and you know who you are if I'm talking to you, it's not me saying it, it's not David, it's not Brauninger saying it, it's the rest of the college freaking baseball saying it. That this team has a hell of an upside. They certainly have Omaha upside. And now, it's a matter of them getting healthy. But even without it, I got to make this point.
Yeah, go ahead.
They lost to Auburn, a team that's going to be a top 8 seed. They lost that series by 1 run. And they lost the series to Ole Miss, a team, what are they ranked? 20th? That's on the road in Oxford, that's going to the tournament. And they lost the series by 1 run. With everything I just said. So nothing about the performance upsets me. It doesn't disappoint. It's like they battled their ass off. It sucks because if you got one of those 2 1-run games, you're damn near locked in. Now I think you've got to go win a series against a good Mississippi State team and get yourself into that top 8. I don't understand how there could be any negativity outside of the negativity of, damn, I hate how injured we are because it's going to really hinder us.
You know who I blame on all this? I blame 2 things. I blame the way social media looks for interactions, right? And what gets interactions is these polar thoughts, these you've got to go, and the Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith effect, where you have to take one side completely and there can't be any place for nuance or gray. It's got to be this or that. You can't be like, oh man, we're really good, better than I expected, but we're hurt right now. You're not allowed to have those kind of opinions today.
Well, yeah, because it's too, like you said, it requires like actual conversation, and you're trying to just get it out in one tweet, just a banger. And then, and if you say it in such a way, then everyone that does, people just want to be angry. They want to be angry. They want to be angry at anything people do. And they can be your best friend for a long period of time, and you do one thing that pisses them off, and they're going to go off the rails on you. You've seen it happen to you. It happens to me all the time. It happened to, Zane the night he asked that question to Slosh. All these people that see me go and greet him after the game, after the Aggies whipped that ass, go greet him after that game. Those people that you don't have Zane's back. It's like you were the exact people that wanted me to fire him for asking that question for those 12 hours. The exact same people. And you're saying that about me? Are you kidding me? Like, who was on the phone with him that whole night after that? So like that whole thing, that whole pattern of they're going to turn on you, they're going to turn on me, they're going to turn on Mike Earley, they're going to turn on Mike Elko, they're going to turn on Bucky. Hell, they were ready to turn on Bucky after he lost to Texas at home. It was over. They weren't going to the tournament down back to Kentucky. That was it. I mean, it's luckily, fortunately, when you go to Kyle Field and you watch the crowd, when you go to Bluebell Park, you look at 203 and the crowds there, and how they showed up for that, not just the Texas series, what they're going to do this weekend. You go look at, Reed Arena during that Kentucky game that they had to win. Like, the fans turn out. The fans are loyal. You don't have to be loyal to a fault. You could have your doubts. Right. You could question a coaching decision. You can think it's time to move on from a coach during this. All of that's normal. But this stuff of just like there should be no visceral reaction to anything that Aggie basketball did last year. Everything about baseball has been positive as hell this season. And football and what Elko's done in 2 years, like, if you're not bullish on what's going on in the big three of Aggie sports right now, I don't, maybe it's not for you, or maybe you're just too caught up in reacting to it on Twitter versus thinking about it, then reacting to it. Because it's been really good in a really short period of time. Mm-hmm. And baseball had a rough year last year, and I understand that was a colossal disappointment, and I understand like the vitriol and the what the hell's going to happen and all that to an extent. I thought, again, that same group tends to take it too far. But again, they'll be the same ones going crazy and booking their trips to Omaha and going up and trying to find, get pictures with the guys around Omaha when that's going on if they get there. It's the same group. So there's nothing you can do. Reese is probably one of them over here. He looks guilty. Look at him.
Yeah. There was a little guilty look.
Okay.
I don't think you're that guy, but
it would have been a lot better if they would have cut to Reese. They'd have cut to Reese right when I did that. Reese gives the palms up like. But anyway.
How about a positive, though?
I just think, because I just think this team, if they can get everybody right, they're going to be a really, really tough out. My concern with a healthy A&M is it's like just about any team, though, but especially this team, they would, a regional, man, they'd have to win on a Saturday, in my opinion. You've got to win that Saturday game, because if you can get, where on Sunday you're playing in game 3 and you're pitching Moss, and you're in game 3 against a team that's in game 4, mm-hmm. and a 2 or 3 seed pitching their 4th start in 3 days, I think that's when those A&M bats can really have a field day. And even if you have to go in a 5th game and you go, A&M's got no more pitching, neither do they, and I'll take this lineup. So that is my concern. It's like it's a must-win for them in game 2. With this pitching, I would think they'd have a very hard time coming through a loser's bracket, and then the same thing in a super. My concern is Friday night, because
you're going to get an ace.
They again, and I thought the pitching Friday was fine, but it was actually, what was it, 3-2 until the 7th inning, was it? Yeah, I thought pitching, but then
pitching overall the weekend was fine.
Yeah, but the Friday night they've lost is it 3 in a row on Fridays, and so that's my concern if they go to a super. Is like, you lose game 1, this team, they've shown in Gainesville that they can come back from it, and they battled back twice but just couldn't quite finish. But again, with all those injuries, they might have won both of these series had they been healthy.
Yeah, well, but again, I think you didn't lose Friday night because of pitching. You just weren't able to hit the ball, right? I mean, you had 3 hits, or
Ole Miss isn't that good, but they have some really good starting pitching.
Yeah,
and they have a really good closer. And we saw that this weekend. I mean, so look, it is what it is, but there were some positives from the weekend as well.
Ben Arroyo.
Well, Ben Arroyo was
ridiculous. 7 for 7, 3 home runs.
I didn't know Zane had used it, but I was like, this dude's up there like he's Shohei. I told Richard that like Friday or Saturday. I was like, 7 for 7, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, 5 runs scored, and a brilliant defensive play there. Man, he was incredible, and it's crazy. Of course, I had someone come up to me and say, well, Mike Earley's going to have to answer for why he didn't play him all year. Like, can you just not like? How about just go? This dude
made the most of his opportunity.
He's probably pissed off he didn't get a chance this year, which any competitive athlete would. But he stayed locked in enough to come off the bench and do what he did. And how about just think of it as
what a luxury.
Hey, this has some real like Caden Kent vibes right now.
Uh-huh.
How about look at it that way? It's got real Caden Kent vibes, and you know, if Royal can ride a hot streak for a couple weeks, I mean, it changes the look of this lineup again. Imagine getting Partita back and having Royal. I mean, obviously he's not going to bat 1,000. Nobody does, but maybe he stays hot for a couple weeks, and what's that doing at the bottom of your lineup?
Well, and,
you know.
And how about Clayton Freshcorn going as long as he? I was surprised by it. I'm sure Bronny and Zane probably had some intel that was a possibility, but he was great. Unfortunately, he didn't get a win.
Yeah, it's crazy. He got the loss out of that deal. He pitched so well. So Freshcorn's been playing at an MVP level. It's kind of hard when you got Gavin and Caden, but he's been playing at an MVP level this year. I mean, he's been automatic, man. He really has. And like what he did against Auburn in that game, up against trouble, and them facing a sweep, and work his way out of that in the late innings. I mean, he went in that one, in the 7th?
Mm-hmm.
He's had multiple games where he's had to come in. I think against Florida, he came in needing 7 outs. Same against LSU. And then, it was Auburn and Florida, I think he came in needing 7. And then what he did the other day was ridiculous. I mean, yeah, look at that. The strikeouts to walk. And that's why, like, he's just not putting people on base.
Mm-hmm.
He's been incredible. Like I said, he's an all SEC pitcher out of the bullpen. There's no question about it. And you know, that started for him last year around this time. Like, it started in Hoover, really, maybe a little before that. But he was so good against LSU, they couldn't touch him. That was a team that went on to 2 weeks later win a national title. And that was just, you didn't know it at the time. And it was kind of felt silly to say, man, if he could do that all year next year, just because he did it in one tournament, seemed a little presumptuous and optimistic. But sure enough, it's exactly what he's been all year. So credit him for turning into a complete stud out of the. I mean, he's in the, you know, they had Polish and they went Aschenbeck. He's done a really nice job of stepping in and being an ace.
All right, we'll hit a break here. We'll come back with more right now. Milliken Reserve, a farm-to-table community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got farms. They've got wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. They've got 2,600 acres of open space, 30 miles of trails, and farms all over the place. They have an extensive network of trails throughout a wooded landscape. And this includes everything from walking to equestrian paths to creeks to ponds and gathering areas. They have a variety of native species that you can find there, from the white-tailed deer, the songbirds, the rabbits, the turtles, you name it. And homeowners of Milliken Reserve share in a legacy of conservation, which means generation after generation, you're coming back to that pristine countryside place. They can open plastic silverware in front of you. It won't affect you at all. The website is millikenreserve.com. That website again, millikenreserve.com. Hey everyone, David Nuño here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it. Hey everyone, David Nuño of TexAgs Live, and I'm here with Brandon Moreau of Brazos Valley Floor and Design. They're a family-owned business, and Brandon used to work for the A&M football team, the Texans, you name it. Brandon, tell us a little bit about Brazos Valley Floor and Design.
Yeah, like you said, family business. We started in 1999. It was in a small feed store, and about 4 years later, my dad decided he wanted to grow the business and kind of focus on that. So we're in the location we are at now. And we have a large showroom with salespeople with designer experience, a lot of stocking power. And we cater a lot to residential, builders, and we do a little commercial work as well.
Tell me about your other company as well, Premier Countertop Design.
Yeah, Premier Countertop Design is right there on site. So it's kind of a one-stop shop. People can come by. They can look at their slabs that they're going to cut. They're going to compare to their cabinet colors, their backsplash that they're going to do at our flooring store. And we have a lot of digital. We're doing a lot of digital stuff. We're templating, water jet, laser measuring, all different things like that.
So tell me a little bit about what sets you guys apart from the rest of the competition.
I think just being here in the community for 27 years in business, and our vendors that we have the relationships with, pricing we can get because of how much we can buy in stock and things like that. And then as far as the countertop business, it's just the way we can be precise with what we do.
All right, there you have it, guys. Check out the website, bbflooranddesign.com and premiercountertopdesign.com. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Lunch with Liucci. We go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. This came out sometime during the show, but some breaking news that has, A, it's scary, and B, ripple effects in the SEC.
Yeah, so a statement came out from Missouri claiming that Missouri football student athlete Ahmad Hardy was the victim of a shooting at a concert in Mississippi early Sunday morning and sustained a gunshot wound. Hardy underwent surgery Sunday in Mississippi and is in stable condition. This came out per ESPN's Pete Thamel, also reporting there's optimism that Ahmad Hardy will play football again. How quickly he can return and the impact isn't known, but he is alert today and moving around.
Good. Obviously, like, scary situation for the young man, like, not even talking football, just to go through that. As for coming back for football, Billy, like, there's no way we'll know anything unless we know like where in the leg and what was hit and whatnot.
We don't even know if it's his leg.
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't hear him.
Yeah, no, they have no. there.
We just know he was shot.
Yeah, there's not been any report on what part of the body.
Where did
was
that
shot.
come from then? Yeah. Anyway,
I think you just thought he was a running back, uses his legs. It's frightening, man. It's. Thank God it wasn't tragic, because that's what it sounds like.
Could have been.
I mean, it wasn't. The bullet didn't graze him. Obviously, if they're doing surgery like that, so it could have ended a lot differently and a lot more tragically. So thank God that Ahmaud Hardy's all right for him, his family. As far as you talk football, he's one of the star players in this league. One of the two best running backs, if not the best. He's going to be a high draft pick, even though they devalue running backs in the NFL. He's going to be a high draft pick. So just for his future and livelihood moving forward, first, thank God he's all right. Sounds like he's going to make a full recovery. Thank God football wasn't taken from him. There's an order there of what's important, but high up on the list, not at the top, is football, because he's so good that is going to make him a ton of money that he'll be able to live off of if he plays, 4 or 5 years in the NFL. So he might be a guy that could be a great NFL back. So good silver lining there when you get past the initial shock, but it sucks he had to go through that. It sucks that somebody felt the need to resort to that, or not even resort. They probably chose to do that. You never have to. It doesn't seem like in a situation like that at a concert. So anyway, thank God he's good. I think from a football standpoint, that has the potential to be a massive hit to Missouri in their hopes for this season. It does. It's a little vague as to when he could come back, though they don't know. So hopefully, you take away that it's an SEC opponent and it's a great player you're going to play against. Hopefully he's back in time for the season, for the actual season. That reads like, who knows? Does that mean that he's going to be out for 6 months and then he works his way back? Is he out for a year? And then can return to football? Who knows? I'm hopefully it'll be in time for the season. We're still several months away, and then even if it's, it's also a 3-month season. So mid-season from now, what are we in? Let's just call it mid-May to mid-July, mid-August. Mid-May to mid-June, mid-July, mid-August, mid-September, mid-October, mid-season. That's 5 months from now is mid-season. So I think I'd be surprised if we didn't see him back without knowing the extent of any of that.
So just thinking about him in particular and what Notre Dame had out there running last year, and thinking about what a healthy Le'Veon looks like, I'm just curious, do you think running backs, who was it, Robert Henry from UTSA, who ran over everybody, do you think running backs are potentially making a return to, maybe not to what they were before, but like the importance?
No, I don't think they ever left. They're
undervalued in the NFL now.
Yes.
But in college, they've never.
Yeah. What? Jimbo's first year, they rode Travion Williams to almost 1,800 yards. You look at Alabama's backs. You look at Georgia's. Georgia, to me, took a little step back. That would be one where it's like they don't have quite what they had during this Kirby Smart run, and they actually always had backs going even into Mark Richt. You go way back, but what's he yelling and screaming about? But anyway, those backs, I don't think they ever left. Texas just got done having about 4 or 5 NFL backs on their roster at the same time. LSU had a run of them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Ohio State won the national title last year with 2 badasses.
Yeah, but I don't think running backs get the love, even in college football, that they used to. I just don't think they are.
Love got love enough to where Love was
did, and I guess that's my point.
Love was in the Heisman.
Love did, and what Notre Dame
runner
had.
up? Was he a runner up, or did he finish third?
Third, I believe.
Third, yeah.
But outside of I just don't think it is a.
Pavia was a runner.
I just don't think it's as much. It's not. Running backs are not as sexy. Excuse me, in college football as they used to be. You were going to say something, Reese?
No, I said whoa.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I agree with that, but the over the last probably like, I don't know, 15 years, the receivers in college football have
taken a bigger step in prominence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll hit a break.
I don't think that's shifting back. By the way, if you look at the receivers in college football right now as well.
Well, and especially the way receivers are used, kind of in the running game now with the short passes.
Like you look at guys like, this year everybody's going to be talking about Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman, hopefully Mario Craver, more so than guys like Hardy and Jaden Baugh.
Yep.
I mean, it's the game has gone that way a little bit, but but if you put Ahmad Hardy on a real team, and you put Jaden Baugh on a team that was a playoff contender, they'd talk about him a lot too. Like Kejuan Lacey. Kejuan Lacey isn't playing second fiddle to anybody at Ole Miss in the receiving corps. He was playing second fiddle to the quarterback. That's always been
That's going to be the case.
Yeah.
All right, we'll hit a break. I want to ask you the difference between arriving and not arriving in college football, and I'll go deeper into that on the other side. All right. Right now, we're talking Guarantee Bank and Trust, established in 1913, over a century of experience helping Texas as one of the most respected community banks. They are the most respected community bank in Texas, with 3 great locations in the Bryan-College Station market. Their market president is Brandon Sears. He's an Aggie. He's great, but they're all over Texas, 33 locations across the entire state, from East Texas to DFW to Houston to Central Texas, and as I mentioned, right here in Bryan-College Station. They want to grow stronger for the community, and they want to support financial education, home ownership, local business, and nonprofit efforts right here in this very own community. Every decision is shaped by helping you, all those that go inside of a Guarantee Bank and Trust. They are your Aggieland Community Bank. Check out the website, gnty.com. That is gnty.com, or visit them at Guarantee Bank and Trust, division of Glacier Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. It is Guarantee Bank and Trust.
Everyone, David Nuño here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever, and also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group, and they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan-College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. And we are back. It is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Reese Nygren at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center is going to tell us what's popping on TexAgs as we wait for Billy to make his way back to the studio. Nygren, what do you have?
I'm going to begin it with the generic line, it seems. It is never a bad time to become a TexAgs premium subscriber. So
It's always a good time.
It is always a good time to be a TexAgs premium subscriber. Some things that we have on TexAgs today. Registration for the 2026 preseason kickoff has officially opened. The 16th edition of this event is set to happen on Saturday, July 25th inside the MSC. More information is available on texags.com. We have Luke Evangelist's article on the reconstructed Texas A&M basketball roster under Bucky McMillan. He has a full timeline on how it all went down in the chaotic and exciting portal window and the expected impact of each incoming transfer and each returner. Later today and coming up this week, we will have NIL interviews with offensive lineman Trevon Baugh and Mark Naboo, as well as baseball pitcher Luke Billings, and we will also get Bronny's baseball thoughts.
Good stuff there. Appreciate that. So when Billy walks in, I'm going to ask him the difference between arrived in college football and not. And what I mean by that is, Niger, let's just spitball here some teams that I think are like mainstays. Arrived is probably not the right word for these programs. These programs have been here, but like Ohio State.
Been there.
It doesn't necessarily mean you win a national championship.
Yeah, but
right?
you've been consistently good for an extended period of time.
Extremely good, right?
Yeah.
Like I would even say Penn State, who had a down year.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that I think they're at the same level, but you know what I'm saying?
There's tiers to this.
They're exactly right. Billy, the way I don't think I phrased it the way I wanted to earlier to you when I said the difference between arrived and not arrived, because I think arrived means you're just new to the scene. And I think A&M is close to knocking on the door of arrive, because it's not just a 1 year, but they've got to do more than a 1 year. But the difference between mainstay and arrived and not. And for instance, right now until A&M does it again this year or the next 2 out of 3 years, I don't know if you can say they have arrived as a program. Maybe you can. I would say teams that have arrived have either done it for a long time. I would say that Penn State has been, obviously they were horrible. They changed their coach this past year, but they were a program that I would have said consistently getting to the 10 wins, okay? And maybe that's the barometer. What does A&M have to do, in your opinion, to be a team that has arrived and they're a mainstay in that upper tier of college football?
Sometimes you can be a real wordsmith, and I'm going to answer it thinking I know what you mean. And what I'm going to say...
I probably didn't make sense at all.
What I'm going to say is I think for them to, I think you're talking about, I think an example of what you're talking about would not be Penn State. So you gave the example of one I don't think you're talking about. I think the example of who you're talking about, that's
every
a better
day,
one.
every year, they knock on the door of the playoffs if they're not in the playoffs. Okay, and now the playoffs have expanded.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Forget Penn State. Bad example.
Okay.
Oregon. That's my example. That's my example. So I don't think Ole Miss has any staying power with Pete Golding. I just don't. And I think Lane Kiffin got what you can get out of that program, the most you can get out of it, and I think it's over with under Golding. It might not be this year because he's got Lacey and Chambliss, and I think a lot returning on defense. But I think the teams that you're asking, have they arrived in much the way that you could have been asking about Oregon last year? Have they arrived under Dan Lanning? And this year he answered yes. Has Tennessee arrived under Josh Heupel? And the answer was no. This year, the teams that they're going to be asking that about, in my opinion, it's Oklahoma and Brent Venables. It's Miami and Mario Cristobal. Did they just make a run, or is the U back?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel much more confident about Miami in that regard. And then the third one is A&M under Mike Elko. And to answer your question of what does that look like, I think you're right when you say let's say 2 of these next 3 years, A&M gets in the playoffs, and you have 3 out of 4 years.
Right.
Or if this year, even just this year, if A&M goes back to the playoff and wins a couple games and is sitting in, like, say, Final Four, that to me is like they've arrived.
They're here, yeah.
And really, though, I really think because of how they're recruiting, because of how Mike Elko handles the portal, because of every other metric you want to measure him by, if they just got there this year at 10-2 or better. Now, if they somehow got in, and I'm not going to say wormed your way in, because you get in at 9-3, it's fine. But if they went 9-3, then lost their first game and finished 9-4, I don't know if I'm going, they are. But like if they got in at 10-2, really regardless of what happened, but especially even if you could just win one, and you go, you took it one step further, but more importantly, you got back. If this team gets back this year with that schedule and with the amount of turnover they had, sending 10 guys to the NFL, I think you could say they've arrived. Because I think you would go, okay, they got there because they had a really veteran football team, and they had played more football than everybody else, and they won games because they were a veteran, experienced team in a day of college football where you don't get that as much. But then you took 10 NFL draft picks, came back the next season on an infinitely tougher schedule, and got back to the playoff. That would tell me, if I'm somebody on the outside just kind of evaluating all these programs, like, yeah, I think we're just going to see a lot of them in this playoff field moving forward. And by this playoff field, I mean 12 teams minus the 2 BS spots, which is the ACC, until Miami can actually win it, and then the G5. Top 10 program. That's what we're talking about. A legitimate
on a consistent
top 10
basis.
program. And if A&M goes 2 years in a row in the playoffs with that amount of turnover, I think that's when if they brought the whole team back again this year, you could still look at it and go, that was just that team, that window. And once that was done, but this is a whole different iteration where you've turned over a lot. And if they go back on a tougher schedule, I think you can safely say it's only going up under Mike Elko. And I think one of the topics Amanda and I were going to talk about on the show this week is who are 3 ascending programs in the SEC? If you had to name 3 ascending programs, and that's different. The other thing we're going to ask is who are the 3 programs in the SEC that you see having the most success over the next 5 years? So I think in fairness, you have to say Georgia. You have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they'll keep it going. Then the big question becomes Texas, and then you start looking at the Texas or Bama. Do you still include them? And then the question is, which of those ascending teams do you pick? So my question to you, when you think about teams like an LSU under Kiffin, are you consider them over the next 5 years?
I would say A&M, LSU, Oklahoma would be the 3 ascending programs. And I'd say, because I do believe in Lane Kiffin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if he's going to win the big game. He hasn't proven that yet, really, at least on a consistent level. But based on their resources, what their history's been, I would say LSU is going to be back in the playoffs, if not this year, in the next year or 2. I would say A&M, to me, feels like they've got staying power, regardless of how this season goes. And Oklahoma really impressed me what they did last year with that schedule that they had. Can they do it again?
I'm going to say this. I don't think it'll be both A&M. I don't think it'll be both A&M and OU. I think it'll be A&M. But is there a team that you see that is like an ascending, like they're a notch below, but they're a new coach, and you go, man, I could see that one. In other words, to me, it might be Florida under Summerall.
Absolutely.
That might be my pick. Does Golish surprise everyone at Auburn? Are we sleeping on them? Is it Kentucky under Will Stein? Now, ascending doesnn't have to mean being the best. Like Kentucky could
6 wins.
Kentucky could go and become like Vandy has been the last couple of years. See, to me with Vandy, I think so much of that, even though they signed that 5-star quarterback, I think so much of that had to do with Pavia and kind of that particular group. I think they caught lightning in a bucket. I do too. I don't think they're going anywhere, but I think that playoff flirtation and maybe even should have been in that field. I don't think so. I think I'd go Notre Dame before them, but they might have been the next pick. No, I'd probably have gone a 9-3 Texas, even over a 10-2 Vandy. With that said, I think my three are about the same as yours. I would put an asterisk by Sumrall and Florida because I think he's really good. I think he's a tough coach, and they're going to play it the right way. They're going to play it physical. And he's going to have a ton of talent there in Gainesville once he gets it going.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with a final segment here on TexAgs Live. A moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, you owe it to yourself to check out the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They're stocked up and ready to deal on all the cars on their lots. They got trucks, SUVs, sedans, you name it. They have it all. And they're locally owned. They have an Aggie alumni team that knows how to take care of their customers, and they will take great care of you. Stop settling for big city prices and high-pressure tactics. Come see the difference at a hometown dealer like Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell, or short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on a lot and do business with the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going? You use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst.
Howdy, Ags. This is Texas A&M quarterback Marcel Reed, and you're listening to TexAgs Live on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Back here on TexAgs. Appreciate Marcel's shout out there. We go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Reese Nigel read an article that caught his attention about it involved A&M.
Yeah, ESPN released an article of award candidates for every team in the top 25. And for the number 10 ranked Texas A&M Aggies, they selected Dalton Brooks to win the Jim Thorpe Award.
If you were to predict an award for an Aggie, would that have been the award you would have predicted?
Dalton could.
Your mic's turned off.
I got you.
I think Dalton Brooks showed towards the end of the season was he's starting to get his hands on the football. And if he can, I think that's been what's missing from not just for him, but for the whole secondary. So, I mean, I've always thought he has ball hawk potential. He's great at, pressuring the quarterback, times those blitzes wonderfully from the safety spot. And of course, Elko loves to use that. I could see him being a guy that makes, a pretty substantial jump in his final year. He's now played so much football. I remember when he was less of a pure safety and just more of a football player that you projected out as a safety. Those days are over with. There he is, involved in a turnover right there. Those type things. Yeah, I could see him in that mix as a safety that's got a nose for the football. That'll get you there. But I'm trying to think if there's someone else. I think I would pick, even though it's going to be spread out, I think if I was making a pick, mine would be Mario Craver and Biletnikoff.
Yep.
Because I think he was, had he been healthy down the stretch last year, because he got hurt, I think it was against, trying to think of what game he clearly got hurt in. Was it was in South Carolina? I think it was even before that. But
I thought it was in Missouri.
He was hurt, I think, in Missouri. He didn't play as much. He was in and out. So, but had he been healthy, I think he's probably would have been more of a 1,200 yard receiver.
I agree.
Rather than 900 plus. And remember, he didn't even, in fairness, he didn't even play against Samford. I mean, he might have gone 3 catches for 100 yards in that one and been at 1050 instead of 9, been over 1,000 just with that. So, yeah, I think Craver would be the guy that I would go with in terms of most likely. He's just so dynamic and explosive. What were some other guys mentioned? Give me a team and let me try to guess. Read me through the top 10 real fast.
Okay. Ohio State.
Well, Jeremiah Smith. And
Oregon.
Moore.
Georgia.
Stockton.
Notre Dame.
Carr.
Yeah.
Leonard Moore.
Oh, okay.
Leonard Moore.
Yeah, Biletnikoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's going to be your front runner probably going into the season.
Texas, easy one.
Yeah.
Miami.
Problem with Texas, and if we're just being honest, they've got Simmons, Arch, Gooseby.
They went with Arch for the Heisman.
Simmons, Arch, Gooseby, and Cam would all be guys that you could have seen them pick, and that's I hate that, but it's just true. Go ahead.
Miami.
Is it quarterback?
No.
Nadarian Mensah?
Oh, Fletcher.
Malachi Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, that's stupid. For which one? Nagurski?
No, Biletnikoff.
I could see him winning. He could be a contender for a Heisman. Go ahead. What are you doing with the hand?
We got 20 seconds.
Oklahoma.
Mateer.
No, they went with the kicker, Tate Sandell.
Well, he needs to fix what happened to him at the end of last
Penn State. Quick.
Quarterback. Your boy Rocco Beck.
Heisman Trophy Rocco Beck.
Yeah.
My guy.
Billy, thank you. Reed,
Thanks, David.
Thank you. We'll see you guys mañana.